Welcome to TWitWoW, the best wrestling podcast made for wrestling fans, by wrestling fans, on the web today. I'm John. That's my cohort and commentary, Ashton. And this is the week in review. And you know what? Let's get right into it, right? Because I have something that I want to talk about straight away. Let's dive in. We need to
My
liven
goodness,
this
I
show
love
up.
this already. This is fantastic.
Yeah, we need to liven this show up. Like Ashton said recently, it's not a recap show. This is us talking about things that we observed throughout the week that we feel are worthy of discussion for better or worse. And what I want to talk about is how the character of CM Punk is a hypocrite. And I really don't
Oh,
like it. Um,
nice. I've seen this take and I fully support it. Yes.
So yes, why do I say that he's a hypocrite? And if you've seen this take, I kind of feel bummed out because I thought I was coming in with something hot. But either
Well,
way,
to be
let's get
fair,
it
I
on the
haven't
table.
seen it from you. I just have seen it on Blue Sky.
Yeah, I mean, let's just get it out on the table. Here is a guy who lost the Royal Rumble legally. Okay, and that applies to Roman Reigns too, because he said CM Punk screwed him. You can't screw somebody out of a Royal Rumble match. It's no DQ. Okay. And yeah, it was legal for both of you. CM Punk legally lost the Elimination Chamber. Okay, he legally lost that match. He may say that John Cena stole something from him. No, the fuck he didn't.
He's angrier at Seth than Cena.
Yeah, if anybody stole anything from you, it's Seth. And even then, perfectly legal in that environment. Cena took advantage of an opening that anybody would have. So then you go on a microphone and you say that John Cena stole something from you. You call out him and The Rock. You say that Cena has no principles, no anything, that it was all a lie, that you'll never see CM Punk give up on his dreams. And then what happens? You use your long-standing relationship with Paul Heyman, who has been one of your earliest advocates in this fucking company, to get you the main event of WrestleMania. And I know that the Royal Rumble win hasn't mattered in a while. Okay, so I don't want to go too deep on that point because it's like, come on, John. When's the last time it really mattered? Unless it was a big name winning the Rumble. But you stole it from Jey Uso. I just got to point that out. I get that in non-kayfabe, it's been a non-factor for a long time, but it doesn't change the fact that Jey Uso won the fucking Royal Rumble, last eliminating John fucking Cena, and he gets what, middle of the card? Like, I really didn't like it. Not to
See,
mention,
this is interesting. This is not the angle that I thought you were going to go with it. This is not the take that I've seen on Blue Sky.
And so I want to hear about the take you saw on Blue Sky in just a second, but I do just want to round out two more things just to get my thoughts fully out. And then as far as the story itself goes, he's still saving the favor from Paul Heyman in his pocket because he says in the same segment that wasn't the favor, which, okay. I still feel like the favor is going to be my theory. When Punk gets a world title match, I think the favor is going to be him asking Paul, hey, be my corner man for that match. Be my advocate for that match. But we'll see. I could very easily be wrong about that. But then in the context of the story, you get Seth mad, and Seth sells it beautifully to his credit. I still think Seth is the best player in this whole thing. I mean, his character, his motivations, everything. But I think it kind of defangs a little bit what Seth did at Chamber, because it's oh, well, now the beef is completely one-sided again, because why would Punk give a shit about you? Punk gave a shit about you because you stole his dream from him, but now he connived and politicked his way to get that dream anyway. And so where is the heat from Punk to Rollins going to come from? If anything, Rollins hates Punk and Reigns hates Rollins, but Punk is just well, I'm better than both you guys, so I don't care. And I don't really like the idea of a triple threat where two guys have genuine animus towards another guy, but then the third dance partner is oh, I don't know, I'm just happy to be here. I'm great. So I think it even kind of negatively affects the story for me a little bit. So I wanted to come in hot. None of this, oh, what'd you think about the week? This and that. No, like you said, we need to do this show differently. We need to go in with discussions immediately. And I like the segment. I don't want to make it seem like, oh, this segment was trash. This segment was ass. Because you even said in the Discord, you felt like it was going to be a more lighthearted episode. And I agree. You can even see my energy in talking about this. I'm more up. I'm not dour. But I just really don't like how the CM Punk character was handled in this, and how in my mind it kind of takes away from the story. So what did you hear on Blue Sky, and what do you think about all this?
Okay, so I have 3 points, and I made sure to type them out so that I wouldn't forget any of them.
Perfect. Okay, go. I'm gonna mute up so I don't interrupt you.
Okay, so first of all, just in response to you saying that Punk doesn't really have any sort of dog in the fight now with Seth, I just have to say this is an ongoing story, and I think that we should avoid overreacting to the latest development, knowing that it's probably going to have more developments between now and Mania. And I think that just based on what we saw in that segment on Friday, one of those developments could very easily be Seth advocating for some other match to main event night one.
We will see. Yeah.
Because Seth was livid. Seth was seething. I literally went on our Discord and said, Seth Rollins, more like Seeth Rollins,
I
because
did see
he
that and
was
I gave it a minor pop.
pissed.
Yes.
Yes, he was very angry, clearly. And now that Punk told everyone publicly, by the way, that wasn't the favor, Roman or Heyman or whoever might want to renege on it.
Possibly. Possibly. Yeah.
So I'm just saying it's an ongoing story. They got their CM Punk reaction shot of him finding out he's main eventing WrestleMania. That shot will forever be in recorded history, even if it gets taken away from him. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think there's still a possibility that it could change, and that one of either Jay Gunther or Rhea Io Bianca could main event night one. I'm just throwing it out there.
Okay.
My second point, I don't think Paul Heyman is the reason that this is main eventing. I don't think Heyman has the sway to negotiate a match to main event a show that otherwise it wouldn't have main evented. This is the island of relevancy.
Okay.
This is
Okay.
Roman Reigns being the biggest star on either card, maybe not named John Cena. And I also think that it's got something to do with Jey Uso tilting his face off over the course of the last month or so, botching basically every single week, whether it's in the ring or on the mic. And I think that that would have been the main event of night one, but I think that they're losing faith in that match. And I think that Roman is basically the guy still, at least out of like the sort of current era, this current generation of guys. And I think that they kind of pulled the ripcord. If this even ends up sticking, which again I have to come back to point one, it might not even stick.
Uh,
And finally, my third point, which is the thing that I have been seeing on Wrestle Sky, which I love, because the worst part of Wrestle Sky for me is how AEW centric it is. I know you've pointed this out before, but that does come with some merit. And I love that I've seen this because, dude, I don't know if you remember this. I want to say 2 years ago, I think it was, um, promo of the year. Um, it was 3 years ago. Yeah, it must have been 3 years ago. But CM Punk cut a promo on shit. I lost track. There we go. Oh shit! I really lost track. I know I had a promo of the year candidate from CM Punk within the last few years, where it was him cutting a promo on MJF. Do
the
you
grass
remember
is
this at
greener
all?
promo.
What was that?
The grass is greener promo is like go ahead, go
Yes.
to WWE. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Bingo. Yes. He said a bit about, go ahead, go over there, main event night one of a buy one, get one free special or whatever it was. He's literally doing exactly that. Like, congratulations, Punk. You're main eventing night one of a 2 night WrestleMania where everyone knows that the real main event is the night two main event.
Yeah.
So, like, that's where I'm seeing the hypocrisy is like Phil being all proud to the point of getting emotional and like tearing up on TV over being able to main event night one of a WrestleMania where, again, it's pretty well established at this point that night two is like the true main event of WrestleMania. Like, that's the big time main event. That's the WWE Championship that, like, everyone should be aspiring to get to, you know?
Yeah, I would agree. I actually didn't think about it from like that meta of a vantage point. But yeah, that's a very salient point for
Yeah.
sure.
So again, I think there are a lot of layers to this. I think the most important layer though is that it just straight up might not stick. That's the biggest layer to me, that we need to really be prepared for them to rug pull this shit. We need to be ready for the WWE. They're not gonna like make like a press release to be like, oh hey, just kidding. But like through their story writing, through a promo or a GM or Roman Reigns or Paul Heyman or whatever, someone's gonna have to say like, oh yeah, no, things changed and we're not main eventing anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
I definitely think that that is a very real possibility, just because um, I don't know, it feels tenuous to me at best.
We'll see. I mean, if it sticks, and really, I think it's going to stick. Like, I'm not thinking that much about it, like in that way. I just stand by my criticism personally, like in kayfabe. But we'll see how it goes. I mean, again, the segment was fine. Otherwise, I love Roman Reigns' confidence. Um, I still wish he would have atoned for things and worked through things as a babyface, but it didn't happen. We just have to get over it. We didn't get it. It's whatever. And so I really do like how like calm and laid back he is in this run, because we know how paranoid he was and how on edge he was, like as champion, how insecure he was. Here, he really feels like it's like, man, I got this shit on lock and nobody's taking it from me. And Seth again, I find to be the most interesting character here, because I don't think he's like a twirling mustache villain by any means. He has very legitimate gripes, really, with everybody, and because he remembers what Roman Reigns was, which that's more than I can say for most people, right? And obviously, I think his criticism of Punk on a deep level are valid. So yeah, I really really do like Seth in this, but that was what I wanted to kind of discuss at first. Did you have anything like from this week from any show? I don't really give a shit what show that like you wanted to talk about.
Kevin Knight was on Collision tonight and had a great match with Jay White, and I guess AEW signed him because they announced, like, I think commentary said he's all elite, and Jay White said after the match that he thinks that Kevin Knight is going to be doing a lot more in AEW going forward. So I guess Kevin Knight is an AEW roster member now, and it makes me very happy for him, just because he's making that bank, and I know AEW pays their workers very well, and he definitely deserves that. He's fantastic. He's really really good.
Definitely. I think Kevin Knight, when I first saw him in New Japan, I'm like, wow, this guy's exciting. I
And
really
dude,
haven't
I'll tell
watched.
you right now, he's gotten even better since then. Because I remember the last time that we had the Kevin Knight discussion, and he was already good then. He's gotten better.
That's incredible. I really, again, if I didn't hate AEW so much, and it gets to a point where you kind of get in your own way, and that's what I'm saying about myself, is like I know on some level I'm getting in my own way, because there are a lot of great talents working there. I hate the culture of the company, and I hate the wrestling philosophy that prevails in that company. But I mean the wrestlers themselves, absolutely talented for the most part. I mean, obviously you've got your shitters in every company, but Kevin Knight, what a get for AEW, because that is absolutely a prospect, a guy that could be huge if they want him to be. Speaking of people that could be huge, let's also talk about Ray Phoenix debuting next week on SmackDown.
Yes.
Um, Here's the thing. I am going off purely on Lucha Underground because I watched very little of Phoenix in AEW. So I want to qualify my comments that that's the place where it's coming from. I said it last week. I will say it again here now, going maybe a bit more in depth because we know he's debuting next week on SmackDown. This dude is world champion material to me. Now, I think he drew the short straw with SmackDown because that is the WWE title and it is the Cody Rhodes show right now. They are going to do a draft again post WrestleMania, so we don't know how that would change. But when you talk about the WWE World Heavyweight title, if Phoenix would ever be on the same brand as that championship, I can see it, right? I'm just saying, for me, I can see it. When you remember how that guy was as a babyface in Lucha Underground, the beatings that he would take and his will to win, it's like the very best of like early 2000s Shawn Michaels meets Rey Mysterio and an amazing like lucha libre competitor. I know I really haven't spoken extensively on Phoenix like ever. This is one of the feelings I've kept more to myself, like waiting for the right time. And I really felt like the time was never going to come because wrestling seemed so content with the Lucha Bros as a commodity, as a tag team. And they were a great tag team. That's not me trying to diss or whatever. But since WWE seems to be committed, which is a pleasant surprise to me, by the way, in making Penta and Phoenix single stars right now, I do just want to say that of the two, I definitely prefer Phoenix. And this is definitely biased because of my preference, but I definitely think Phoenix has a bit higher of a ceiling for me. And I definitely see him as a world champion. I'll be very curious what he does on SmackDown. I just hope that he does better than a Dragon Lee, because Dragon Lee is still a really exciting competitor, but he had more of an aura in New Japan. And I just feel like he feels like another kind of luchador the WWE was hoping to make work, and it's not really working, and it's like, whatever, let's just have him still tag with Ray. Like, he did amazing in that tornado tag. Like, he's still putting in the work. It's just he's not where I thought he would be. So I hope Phoenix goes further than he does. But I know you really have always liked and been impressed by Phoenix too. I'm curious what your assessment is of the situation, him being on SmackDown, him doing singles, what your hopes for him are. So walk us through your thoughts, bud.
Yeah. So you know how Tony Stark told Captain America in the first Avengers movie, everything special about you came out of a bottle?
Yeah,
I feel like everything exciting about Dragon Lee was too dangerous for him to do in WWE.
I can see that. Yeah,
And to be fair, I say that knowing full well that he's even been given more leeway than I thought he would be given in WWE, because he has been able to do the over the top rope Rana at least once. I know I've seen him do it once. And the insane like missile tope one time I saw him do. But like those are moves that he did in basically every match in New Japan.
right,
And those are moves that contributed heavily to him being over in both New Japan and, if I remember correctly, CMLL as well. Pretty sure he was a CMLL guy.
right.
And those are just moves that look cool as hell and are hype as fuck, but they're just moves that you're not gonna do in every match in WWE. They're like rare, like kind of pull it out of your like a rip in case or break glass in case of emergency type moves. And he's not gonna get over on promos, which to be fair, neither is Phoenix. But I think the big difference here is that Phoenix has a lot in common, a lot more in common, I think, with Penta than he has with Dragon Lee, in the sense that he does have a very unique and interesting move set that people who only watch WWE will be completely stunned by. Like, no one in WWE has ever done a lot of the shit that Penta does when he came in. Like, if you only watch WWE, you've never seen, like, I would say at least 30% of Penta's move set, right?
Right.
And I think you can probably use a similar number for Phoenix, if not maybe even a little more, because Phoenix does some crazy shit. Phoenix has that insane, like, where he catches himself in the ropes and then does like almost like a rewind time into a super kick move.
Yeah, bro, it's interesting because we talk about like how innovative Swerve is and like how he moves is so different from everybody. I would say the closest kinship he has in wrestling, at least that we've watched, is Phoenix. Because I mean, this dude's insane. Like, you've seen cruiserweights and you've seen high flyers, but like I feel like in an age where everybody's seemingly doing that, Phoenix is kind of generational in that way to me. Like, he will really blow your fucking mind if you feel like you've been burnt out on flip pile drivers and 630 splashes and all this shit, like just the crispness and just everything that Phoenix does, it's like it'll enliven you again. I'm
Yeah,
I'm
that's
really
the
excited
big
to see
thing
what they're doing.
too, is like Phoenix does shit that you've never seen before, but he also does shit you've seen before, but he does it in a way that's cleaner than you've seen it done maybe ever, or at the very least in a long time.
Precisely.
Cause
Precisely.
cause cause that's the other thing too, is like we always talk about, oh, they're doing lucha rope shit. And normally we never call that in WWE because no one does that in WWE, which is another thing Phoenix is bringing to WWE, is he's gonna be doing the lucha rope shit where you do like bouncing up and down on the ropes, doing crazy balancing acts on the ropes. No one does that in WWE. The closest that anyone's ever gotten to doing that in WWE is like when Undertaker did old school, and now Priest is doing something similar, right?
Yeah.
But neither one of them bounced off the ropes. They just walked along them. Phoenix is going to get on the top rope, bounce down to the bottom rope, bounce back to the top rope, and then come off of it. He's going to be fucking crazy. Like, that's lucha rope shit that, like, you see if you watch AAA, if you watch CMLL, you'll see that shit all the time. But most people who only watch WWE have never seen it before, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
And he's also going to be doing like your classic normal luchador shit, like your Ranas and your leg scissors takedown or head scissors, and like your your Frankensteiners and shit like that. Ranas, all that fun stuff. But he's going to be doing it all because it's Phoenix, clean as shit. He's so fucking athletic and clean that, like, I feel like we could see with Phoenix him rising as quickly as Sin Cara did when he got here. But we also know that Phoenix, like I said, clean as fuck, not going to have the botching problems that Sin Cara had, especially because Phoenix has been in the U.S. for long enough now that he's not going to have the language barrier issues that Sin Cara had when he first got here.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because I still remember when Sin Cara first showed up, and he had the presentation, and he had the athleticism, and he had the unique move set. That dude was instantly like the number 2 most over babyface on Raw within less than a month.
Right.
And the botches didn't even completely kill his momentum. They just hampered it a little bit. And then they cooled him off because of the botches, because they knew that they couldn't have him getting that over that quickly, because they knew that they couldn't push him hard, because they knew that they didn't want him botching in an important spot. So, but we're not going to have that with Phoenix. Phoenix isn't going to have that problem. Phoenix is the fucking shit.
So taking all of that in aggregate, what do you think his ceiling is in WWE?
His ceiling? That's hard to say because I mean, realistically, I don't know how hard, like how eager they are to push international stars right now.
You
They're
think I glazed him too hard saying world champion, like in your mind, or like just thinking about the company culture,
well, just
or
hear me out though, dude. They're leaning into the right wing shit really hard right now. Do you really think that this current regime is going to give a world title to a Mexican guy?
it's funny because WWE, I think, has always been a conservative company. Now, I want to get ahead of this and say that Trumpism, 2.0 is not even your George W. Bush conservatism, right? Like this is authoritarianism, this is fascism. We've been saying it, and we should keep saying it, by the way. Um, so this is kind of uncharted territory because even if this was like your Bush style conservatism, I would honestly say to you, yeah, yeah, they would. I mean, Eddie Guerrero was champion when Bush was fucking president, and like the whole thing about
Well, and
immigrants,
that's the
even then.
thing too, is like we know Vince was racist as fuck, but Vince was also a far savvier businessman than Triple H is. And one good thing that Vince always knew to do was to play both sides of the aisle. He never leaned too hard into one or the other of left or right politics because he didn't want to alienate either part of the fucking fan base. Triple H doesn't give a shit. Triple H doesn't give a single fuck about alienating people who don't agree with him.
Yeah, yeah. I think you bring up worthwhile points. I don't want to be dismissive of them, so I think taking that into account, it gives me pause. At the very least, I would say that with him being on the SmackDown brand, I think him being a United States champion is definitely viable.
Dude, I was
Um,
thinking that they could rocket strap his ass immediately and get him involved in the U.S. title picture, and maybe we get schmazes for both mid card titles with both new luchadors involved in those.
that would be really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that. I could definitely see that.
I mean, yeah,
Um,
that's the thing, Javaris. In a fair world, like in a a meritocracy. Thank you, brain, for letting me say that word. In a meritocracy, in a world where people are given championships based on their talent and however they get, absolutely, Phoenix is world champion level. He's WWE champion level. He's next Rey Mysterio type talent.
yeah.
I just don't know how willing to give him those accolades the current regime will be.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and this is an important conversation, because again, we are in new territory. I say again, this isn't even your George W. Bush style conservatism, and I use him specifically because, 9/11 and the war on Iraq changed everything. I mean, that was an epochal moment in America's development, especially towards this moment that we're in right now. But yeah, this is uncharted territory, and it's going to be interesting to see how WWE navigates it. I mean, you can already tell that it's not going well when they're
Yeah, no,
doing
with the roast.
roast of WrestleMania. So I guess we'll have to see. Um, I do have something else I'd like to talk about, but I'm liking this back and forth. Is there anything you would like to talk about before I take the floor again? Because I don't want to be greedy. Is there anything
Yeah,
on your mind?
you know what? My first point was about an exciting black performer on Collision. Let's talk about another one. Guess who else was on a Collision tonight, John? You there?
Yeah, I said who?
Athena.
Nice, nice,
Yeah, yeah.
good.
Mercedes was talking her shit, insulting Billy Starks, calling her a kid, saying that whoever trained her doesn't know anything about wrestling. And then, yeah, Athena showed up and beat her down, basically. But here's the thing, though. I'll tell you right now, Athena has evolved in terms of her mic work quite a lot. I really think that she has become one of the best mic workers that AEW has in their women's division at this point. It is really incredible to see how far she's come. Her mic work really impressed me tonight. She had a backstage promo later on in the night where she announced that she and Billy, I believe, or at the very least Athena, I don't remember. Or no, you know what it was? She announced that she herself, Athena, is going to be in the Owen Hart Foundation tournament, and she praised Billy and talked about how cool it was that she was main eventing the show, because basically the main event of Collision tonight was supposed to be Jamie Hayter versus Queen Aminata. That would have slapped. Unfortunately, Aminata has an injury and had to be replaced. Her replacement ended up being Billy Starks. The main event wasn't nearly as good as it should have been, but thankfully Jamie still won. But my main point is Athena's promo was fantastic. Like legitimately, I mean, I'm not saying like promo of the year by any means, but when you have paid even a little bit of attention to AEW's women's division the way that I have, Athena is like a rung below Mariah May on the mic.
Yeah, yeah,
And I remember there was a time that you and I thought she was cringe on the mic. Like when she was in NXT, we hated Ember Moon promos. We thought that she was cringe. Like, just don't ask her to talk. Just let her wrestle. She's an amazing wrestler. She has evolved. She has rounded out as a performer because she's still exceptional in the ring, but she's gotten really good on the mic too. And I'm really proud of her.
yeah. I was just thinking about her time in NXT. We were talking about all this, and I'm really proud of her too, man. That's fucking awesome. Good shit. I'll keep the momentum going myself with the black girl magic, the black girl excellence, black
Oh
woman
my
excellence, really.
God, yes.
Because I need to give Naomi her fucking
Fuck
flowers
yeah.
for the video package kind of promo that she had.
I put
I am.
this in my promo of the year category, by the way.
Okay.
It's
Well, I'm
funny
gonna.
because I literally said Athena didn't have like a promo of the year quality promo. No, Naomi had that this week. She was amazing.
Well, I feel so vindicated because look, I'm gonna be honest about my feelings. Like, I wasn't championing her to go heel, but I'd like to think pretty consistently on the podcast when we floated the idea of her going heel, I was always pretty open to it. Because I
Yes.
even said, like, oh, it's been
I
so
mean,
long
bro,
since her
you might
first
not have
heel.
been championing for her to go heel right now, but it wasn't that long ago that you were rooting for her to be in the bloodline, wasn't it?
That's true. I
So
really
you've
was
been
open to
low
that idea.
key on the Naomi heel bandwagon for like over a year at this point, I feel like.
Yeah, and it feels so vindicating because I'm like, just like you said about Athena, bro, people grow. People, when they're not in their element, like,
Yes.
you got to give them time to tinker and experiment and reflect. That's why I love performers like John Hennigan, because he was honest with himself. I'm not good at promos, so how do I get better? Like, I love people that can be honest with themselves and they get better because of it. Like, I will always root for you, even if you're not my cup of tea. If I know that you're working on yourself in any facet, it's like, yo, fuck yeah, that's the way. And Naomi, she's grown so much from that first heel run. And what we saw here, dude, I don't know how she fucking does it. Like, and that's why I meant it as a high compliment in the Discord when I said in the first promo with Bianca when she was like, "B, do it down on me." I'm like, she's channeling her inner Viola Davis, and like she kind of does it again because what makes Viola Davis such an incredible actress, and I could talk about why she's an incredible actress for like 3 fucking hours, but we don't have the time, is that she's able to cry on command. Naomi teared up in this again. I'm like, what do you think
Dude,
about
the
when
way
you
that they
think?
showed too, like that single tear streaming down her cheek. Oh my god, this was cinema.
And here's the thing. Like, okay, so I'm watching this. I'm loving the music. I'm loving how thoughtful. Because I know you too, man. And no wonder you put this on your promo of the year list. Because I know one thing you hate, and MJF is a paradigmatic example, is when you yell all your fucking lines. Naomi didn't raise her voice.
Nope,
She was so thoughtful in this in her delivery,
dude.
which made all of her words matter. It made me take her seriously. So you can't use the stereotype of like, oh, angry black woman or whatever, or she's just got a grudge, or she's petty, or JBL, oh, all
This
women hate each other, Michael.
this might be actually legitimately my forefront, like the front runner for my promo of the year right now. This was so good.
Dude, this was fantastic. Honestly, you're making me even consider if I want to put it on my list because even thinking about like how much I loved it, and she says like I'm tired of being underutilized, underestimated,
Yes, dude.
undervalued. I'm like, man,
Undervalued.
she's
Yes.
fucking eating, and then like,
Underappreciated is what she ended on.
yeah, underappreciated, and like the thing is. I love that she doesn't completely like now granted, let's keep it honest, let's keep it consistent. She did say about Bianca, she called her an ungrateful bitch in the first confrontation, but she's kind of walked it back. You can tell that she doesn't really want to go after Bianca. She doesn't see Bianca as a villain. That's for my turned up crazy ass on this show because I straight up called Bianca the Carmelo Hayes of the women's division. I stand on that. I'm personally praying for her downfall, but we'll get to that
Oh
later.
my
Um,
god.
but she is saying like Jade is the problem. And honestly, like okay, now I don't want to be mean here, but again, we're very honest on this show. I like Jade. I think Jade has a lot of upside, but God, did she need this? Because to me, it was starting to get a little one dimensional to me. Like, oh, like this really dominant woman, like who can stop her? Like, this gives her some depth because even the interview she did with Kathy on the last SmackDown before this, I thought Jade did great there. I'm glad that we get to see more of her than I'm a really, really dominant competitor, cry about it kind of thing, because you're not going to last long to me in this day and age where this is very clearly an age of pro wrestling where people like intricate stories. They like more complex characters. I don't want to say going Game of Thrones because you want to stick the landing better than they did, but you get what I'm gesturing at, right?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, when Naomi is talking about her feelings and how, I was there for you, Bianca, when you came into this company, I love that Naomi leaned into the fact that she's a veteran. I love that she leaned in the fact that she has been here so fucking long. And then I love that her thing now as a heel that, she says, if you're going to step to me, if you're going to disrespect me, proceed with caution. And I'm like, you know what? Given how much I fucking loved the attire last week, and Ashley can attest to how much I loved it. Yeah, this packaging kicks ass. It just kicks ass. Like I love this heel run so much more than her first one. And again, it's vindicating for me because again, I'm not going to say that I was pleading for it, but I was definitely open-minded about it. And this is why, because I knew Naomi got better. I knew she matured. She was so I would love to know how old she was when she turned heel the first time, right? Because she's gotten so much fucking seasoning since then. She killed this to the point where her and Jade at Mania might actually be a match I'm looking forward to now because Naomi is doing such a great job. But I mean, again, you said it made your promo of the year list. So, what really stood out to you in this, man, that you really like? That you're like, oh yeah, that's going in there,
I mean, dude, I really do think that the acting and her delivery was what really sealed the deal for me.
dude. That's single tier, man. I'm like, how the
Yeah.
fuck?
Yeah.
Like, I was joking with the family today. Like, I'm really good at Among Us in the sense that I'm really good at lying to people. Now, sometimes I do give it away when I get overly excited or whatever, but when I commit and I'm locked in, I'm really good at it. But if I needed to lie to your fucking face, I could not cry on command. I could not do any of that. I would break down so easily. Okay, Curtis said 11 years ago. So how old is Naomi now? And then we'll just subtract
I'm
11 and
I'm
from that
literally looking right now. It was 2015, so it wasn't 11, it was 10.
10 years. Okay, and how old is Naomi now?
She's 37.
37. So she would have been 27. Okay. Like, yeah, 27 around there. So, yeah, I mean, she's not like young, but, still, she had been a babyface up to that point, and a lot can happen in that time. And, yeah, you
I
could
mean,
see this
bro,
season
here's the
helped her out
thing.
immensely.
She started wrestling, like literally signed a contract with WWE for the first time ever in 2009. So,
Yeah.
yeah, like she was 5 or 6 years experience at that point. Basically 5.5 years experience at that point, and now she's like triple that. So like this is basically the difference between someone who's like learning on the job versus someone who's like a finished product, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. And you know what? I
Because
think, I
prior to
think,
that, she
yeah.
was literally just a babyface in FCW and then a Funkadactyl, and that was her career prior to that, basically.
Yes. Yes. And man, when you see the maturity, when you appreciate the story, I agree with you about the acting. So yeah, just to keep up the momentum because you were great, great shouting Athena, on the show. Naomi, I'm so proud of her. And really, I'm so thankful that Jade gets to work with a veteran of her caliber. And really, WWE should be thanking her too, being such a great veteran in the locker room. Because even Tiffany Stratton named Naomi as one of the people that have been helping her. Which, I mean, I don't know how much good that help is doing because I still think Tiffany sucks. But WWE has a vested interest in her succeeding. So the idea that Naomi is such a team player that she's like, yeah, let me help you out. Like, God, people like Naomi embody the culture that I would want in every wrestling locker room. This business desperately needs to change, and you could follow much worse leads than fucking Naomi. She's incredible. So I'm glad we shared that. Again, I'm gonna have to really consider if I want to even add that to my promo of the year list because the idea that you and I both loved it so much, yeah. Um, so back to you, friend. Anything you want to? I like that we're just talking
Well,
about stuff that we actually really liked and cared about. Because I don't want to talk about any
yeah,
meh shit.
I tell you, probably my biggest pop of the week. We don't watch Pro Wrestling Noah, but that didn't stop us from being able to watch a match featuring Timothy Thatcher this week.
Oh my god.
We actually got Timothy Thatcher on WWE television. Well, not television, but a WWE product this week. He faced Sean Legacy, Super Sean Legacy. He used to be Superstar, but Super Sean Legacy. Uh, and tell you that that match was fun. It was a good match. It wasn't a match of the year candidate by any means, but it was good. Legacy, you, I think honestly, I think that a little bit of the what's the phrase? I want to say the rose fell off the bloom, but I feel like that's misphrasing it.
There would be the bloom is off the rose.
Thank you. Yeah, that for me with Sean Legacy because I didn't realize how small he was prior to this week. I thought that he had a little more size based on that first week 6-man tag match.
Yeah,
And this week though, I appreciate that he is versatile because that first week he wrestled like sort of like a hybrid powerhouse. And now this week he goes up against a dude who's very clearly bigger than him and stronger and more technically savvy, and he wrestled like a fucking cruiserweight, and it was really impressive to see.
yeah. Sean Legacy, I think, is a great look, fun move set. I will be honest, just because of my own personal tastes, I was rooting for Thatcher to win.
Same,
Uh,
same, dude.
yeah,
I love Thatcher, and it's one of those things too, though, where like Thatcher is like more than a decade older than Legacy, and WWE is very clearly using Evolve to shape the future of their company. And Thatcher was very clearly brought in as like a big established indie name to put over their indie guy, which is Legacy.
yeah.
But still, I'm glad we got Thatcher at all. I would love to see more sort of big names that we love, watching wrestle on Evolve that aren't necessarily signed to WWE contracts. I mean, shit. Maybe one day we'll see like a Kota Ibushi again in WWE under the Evolve banner.
That would be fascinating. And I'll tell you, just to keep up the momentum with Evolve with stuff that we liked, I already told you when we watched Evolve together, which I like that we've kind of made that a daily ritual with us now, is just doing it together.
Yeah.
Um, I already cannot wait for a future Kendall Gray versus Roxanne match. Uh,
Yes, I even said that in the Discord this week.
yeah, yeah. Kendall
Kendall Gray's
Gray.
awesome. She's
Kendall Gray is
fantastic.
fantastic. As was the person she beat,
Zara
Zara
Zucker.
Zacker.
Yeah, she's great.
I really like her too. Great upside. again, like pro wrestling, the women in pro wrestling are really killing it right now. They're really
Hey,
fucking cooking.
bro,
Yeah.
you mentioned women, and while we're here, we might as well just finish out the Evolve matches. Aria Bennett and Layla Diggs beat Hayes Jamison and Calix, who is Ref Jessica Carr, wrestling for the first time that we've seen.
Yeah, that blew my mind. I think I still haven't found all the pieces of my mind when you told me that because I'm like, what?
I also thought it was wild that she was like out there doing like abyss shit. Like you have her out there in a mask doing like unstoppable monster type powerhouse shit, and then she eats the pin. That blew my mind. What the
Yeah,
fuck? That was baffling to me.
yeah. While we're talking about things that we like on Evolve, I mean, swipe right. I just, it feels so good to get back because I do like the more complex characters like the Seth Rollins and stuff like that. I do love that, right? But I got to be honest, I'm always going to have a soft spot for the very quintessential heel type characters, the very simple, basic deconstructed heels where it's like, listen, I don't have a tragic backstory. My dad wasn't abusive. I didn't lose like a loved one. I didn't have this failed relationship in pro wrestling. No, I'm just a dick. I'm very attractive, and that makes me better than you. I'm beautiful, and that means that rules don't apply to me. So fuck off. And I'm just sitting here and I'm like, swipe right is just so right, as far as I'm concerned. I really, really like these guys. I would love if they beat Fraxium for the tag titles. If I can't get my really technically like salivating team of no quarter catch crew winning the tag titles, I will take the opposite end of the spectrum with swipe right because I don't know. I'm really endeared by these guys.
They're like, we're tall, young, and handsome, and that means there are no rules that can possibly hold us down.
God, I wish that was true. Fuck. Uh, but yeah, anything else from Evolve you want to talk about? Because I know that there's something else that I want to talk about that like it's got my gears turning this week.
Uh, the thing that you've got that's got your wheels turning is not Evolve related, I take it.
It's not Evolve related. That's why I asked you like about Evolve. Is there anything else you
Okay.
wanted to?
Well, then there was one other thing on Evolve. I am very curious where they're going with Swipe Right because they were hanging out with Ice Williams, who's something that we have never seen before in Evolve in the VIP section, and eventually we get like a big 4v or it was supposed to be 3v3, but then it ended up that um, Ice Williams switched sides, so it ended up being swipe right facing off with Jack Cartwheel, Cappuccino Jones, Sean Legacy, and Ice Williams. I'm hoping that we get a 4-on-4 tag match with the four guys on the babyface team versus Swipe Right, the guy that they tagged with on episode 1, which I believe his name it was Jackson. Wait, no, it wasn't Jackson Drake, was it? Yeah. What's wait, okay. I need help here, John. Who's Drake in Grizzled Young Vets?
James Drake.
Thank you. So it was Jackson Drake. And then that tall guy with the long hair, Bryce Donovan, who was like their almost like their bouncer in the VIP section last week. That's the four-man team that I want to see against the babyface team that stood against them on this week's Evolve. I want that 4-on-4 match.
The 4-on-4 match would be fun. The only thing substantive from what you've kind of laid out that I want to comment on, Ice Williams. I love that dude's look. That dude's got the drip. Uh, I am really loving where pro wrestling is going aesthetically, especially leaning into like, hey, black people can have the drip and be fucking beautiful and this and that too. Because I mean, man, there is a glow up happening in pro wrestling. I mean, Obafemi, moist. Fucking, Ice Williams, class. Javon Evans, the Zoomer wrestler, has definitely got a down to earth look. Like I'm loving it, man. I'm really loving where we're going.
I will
I'm
also just say I have to wonder because, you know, it's WWE, so there's always a chance that these things just happen coincidentally and they'll get corrected later. But I do have to wonder if it was intentional that they gave this guy the last name Williams, if they're going to have him like be related to Trick at all when if he ever ends up on NXT at the same time as Trick.
yeah, yeah.
Like Williams is a
Uh,
common enough last name, but name someone in the WWE under the WWE umbrella with the last name Williams other than Trick. And like, I can't. Can you?
I can't. No, I
So
can't.
yeah, we've got Trick Williams and now we've got Ice Williams. I'm wondering if they're going to do anything with that at all, or if it's just a coincidence it's going to get. patched up at some point.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see because they have a card in their hand, whether they know it or not. And I'm willing to bet they do know it, but it remains to be seen. So I want to talk about this continuing progression of Rhea, Io, and Bianca. And why I want to talk about this is we know that Evolution 2 is happening, which I'm really excited for. I am just going to say this right now on the show because I'm really excited for these two if they go this route. We know that Bianca next week is going to be special guest referee, Rhea versus Io for the women's title. I would personally have that main event. I don't know if they will. I could see that being a no contest because we need to get the triple threat. I want
So would you
Evolution to
still
be.
have it be a main event if it was a no contest?
It would only because I feel like the brawl would be pretty epic. So we just gotta have them fighting
Gotcha.
each other.
Yeah.
But I would have Evolution 2 be main evented by Rhea versus Io. Because I really feel like there's an amazing story here of like Rhea just cannot fucking beat Io.
That is
And
so
like she gets
interesting because I was thinking if we were gonna have like current main roster women main event the Evolution pay per view, it would be Rhea Bianca.
See, dude, and like again, like look, my playful comments about Bianca's arc aside, I do genuinely believe that her focus will go back to that story. Like, I don't see her being in the championship mix after Mania. As it stands right now, and I know we've still got a little bit of time before previewing predictions, I'm not predicting her to win, and I'm not predicting her to be a contender after the fact. So yeah, I just think the big program post Mania is Rhea Io, and I think those two could
Right.
really fucking cook.
Okay, but the
Yeah.
problem with that is we don't know when Evolution's going to be, and the odds of it being immediately after Mania without anything having been announced at this point are very low.
True. But again, because we don't know, we really can't say anything one way or the other. So this is just me putting out into the universe what I would like.
Right.
And yeah,
I mean,
I really, yeah.
realistically, knowing WWE, the main event of Evolution 2 is going to be like fucking Trish Stratus versus Charlotte Flair all over again or some shit.
I mean, no, thank you, but I mean, duly noted.
That's just what they that's how they think. They don't think that the women on their current roster are draws.
Yeah, which I mean, I feel like the data proves them wrong pretty consistently,
I
and
mean,
whether or not they
realistically, if
yeah.
they want the two biggest like money draws on their current roster, like the biggest ratings draws on their current roster, if we include everyone that's a possible member of the current roster, Io versus Becky Lynch would be the actual answer.
I also wouldn't mind that. I love that Rhea is like crashing out, and I would love if like it just started to bother her more. Like, why can't I beat Io Sky?
Yeah.
And it would really make Io seem great because Rhea, I feel like, has been on top of the world for so long, and here Io comes in and be like, "Yeah, you're pretty great, but you can't beat me." And that just seems like kind of fits with Io's personality because she does pride herself on being the best. She is a very proud competitor,
They would almost have to
and
have
yeah.
Rio go into that match, or Rhea go into that match as champion.
Yeah, see, that's the funny thing because I haven't necessarily locked in my mind who's winning that Triple Threat at Mania yet. I'm just pretty confident Bianca isn't winning. So the question for me is,
Right.
does Rhea win? And then it
Yeah.
kind of defeats the story for me because the whole thing is Rhea can't beat Io unless, of course, she
No.
beats Bianca to do it.
Well, but that's my
yeah.
whole problem though, is that I have it in my mind that Io just retains at Mania, and then my question is like, how do we get the title on Rhea without having her beat Io directly? Because I feel like Rhea just challenging Io for the umpteenth time at Evolution isn't really all that compelling. But if you have Rhea with the title and Io sets her sights on her again to try and win the title back from her at Evolution, that's compelling because it's like, can Rhea overcome with champion's advantage? Can she finally beat Io Shirai or Io Sky?
And me personally, and again, this is just me having fun. This is our sandbox on this show. I would have because it's evolution, Rhea evolving to just being capable to fully standing
Yes.
on her own and
Yeah.
turning heel and beating
Oh,
Io that way.
I wasn't gonna say turn heel. I would just say like she's finally surpassed Io, basically. Yeah.
Yeah, and see though, because Io is just so good, so undeniably fucking good that like, yeah, I would have Rhea turn heel, maybe use the championship, and then we close the show with the image of her stepping on Io, like standing on her, holding the title, and there you go. Like I see a lot of value in these two women, and I see what could
Yeah.
really be for the women's division, which in my opinion, the women's division has been great. I've glazed it, we glaze it every fucking week, deservedly. But I feel like it's been a while since it's really had that transcendent kind of program. I think Rhea and
Well,
Io
that's
are
probably
fucking key.
because the 2024 was so much of just the same. It was like so homogenous. Like it was just Liv and Rhea on one show, and then God, Nia Jax and fucking Bailey Schmaz on the other show.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, I just feel like it's been a while since we've had that truly transcendent rivalry and program, and I think Rhea and Io are the key. I think they're two of the best women in the fucking game right now. WWE has them both. Lean into that shit. So yeah, that's really what I wanted to say about that. Is less the segment because the segment was fine. Again, it all led to Bianca being GM, and Adam Pearce is just done with all three of them because Bianca's
Yeah.
exasperated. And she's like, "I've never been a referee," and then he's just like, "Well, guess you got a week to figure it out." It's like, damn, Pierce, you bald and you angry. Fuck.
Dude, Pierce is crashing out completely.
Dude, he is. This is why Sean and I rag on him every fucking week, when we're both together, which
Yeah.
I do miss that. I miss being right with Sean all the time watching the product. But yeah, we're gonna have to see. But really, again, I'm looking forward to the triple threat. I'm not trying to look past the triple threat. I'm just saying I'm really seeing magic between Io and Rhea, dude. Like, it's good shit. Okay. Anything from across any show that you want to talk about?
Well, we
It's
had
on.
two Stephanie Vaquer title defenses this week.
I liked how Jada was protected in that one, that she got caught. I
Yeah.
was curious how they were going to do that because I actually watched that whole match, and I watched like the final few minutes of Henley Vaquer. Um, it makes Stephanie look really strong, which is cool. The visual of like, oh my god, I walked in with 2 titles and I actually managed to walk out with both titles. That's awesome for her. I do wonder where Jada goes from here because this is now her second opportunity at the NXT Women's title. I'm not saying like call her up or anything like that. I'm just simply saying like I don't know what they do with her from this point. And then Toxic Attract, or excuse me, Fatal Influence. Toxic Attraction 2.0. They could just go away. I'd rather they just disintegrate. Maybe JC turns on Fallon, because there's been kind of some tension between them. I don't know if they're still playing that up. But yeah,
You
where
know
would
what
you
we
like to
need?
see?
We need for JC to get called up and keep doing all of the same shit that she's been doing on NXT on the main roster, which is to say, jobbing to the stars with the occasional upset win just to build up her credibility so that she can job to someone more important than her. Fallon can do whatever it is that she does, and we need Jasmine Nix to find a new pair of mentors in the form of Gigi Dolan and Tatum Paxley.
Like that. I definitely like where your head's at.
Hell
Uh,
yeah.
Random thought that popped into my head that has no bearing on anything, but I really miss Kiana James, and I'm wondering when I'm
Dude,
gonna get to
I
see her again.
know. She's starting to post more on socials, but I don't know what the hell happened. She got drafted to Raw almost a year ago at this point, and she had like one or two appearances, disappeared. There are rumors that she did get breast implants, but that's still, you wouldn't expect that to lead to someone being out for a fucking year.
Yeah, and I don't like really want to comment on that per se. I just hope that she'll be okay because I do feel like there are risks having those and having the kind of career that she does, like in the ring. Because didn't Charlotte even have a problem with those like a few years ago because of a bad bump or something? Like I don't know. I just hope
I
that
mean, yeah,
everything
I
will
think
go
there's
okay there.
always a risk of them leaking, from what I understand, but
Yeah, I just don't know if that risk gets
women
heightened given the
women's
nature of the
wrestlers
work.
have had breast implants for as long as women's wrestling has existed, my man.
You know what? That's fair enough, good sir. That's fair enough. Um, I gotta say, not really much else because again, we're not fucking recap show. Interested me. It was cool to see Tyson and Tyreek get a win over Hank and Tank.
On a
I
Oh
know you
yeah, that
don't care for Hank and
was
Tank.
finally we got TNT to actually win a fucking match on NXT television.
Yes, they are so fucking good. Again, another team that if they beat Fraxium, I hate that they're heel, but if they beat Fraxium, I'd be overjoyed. I think Tyson and Tyreek are fucking fantastic. Um, Speaking of fantastic, I gotta say too, I like how they're building up to potentially Javon versus Oba versus Trick because Javon got screwed out of the Heritage Cup because Oba apron power bombed him and Javon sold the shit out of it and Lexus King retained via count out. But fuck Lexus King, I don't want to talk about him. I really like that interaction between Oba and Javon. I thought that was really good shit. Um, Any thoughts on that? Do you think they're going to a triple threat, maybe a fatal four way with Dion Lennox? Like, where do you think they're headed with
It
all this?
definitely seems like it's going to be a triple threat, and oh my god, the upgrade over the triple threat where Oba won the title, because that was Oba, Trick, and Eddie Thorpe. Ew.
Yeah, yeah.
Speaking of Eddie Thorpe, he wasn't on this show, was he?
Oh, good. That keeps our positive streak going. Because I don't remember Eddie being on the show, at least from the YouTube
No.
clips that they put up. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't think he was. So if he was, it was something small and forgettable. So thankfully, I don't have to think about him. Uh, but yeah, dude, Oba Javon Trick in a triple threat. It's going to be a fantastic match for sure. I honestly think, dude, I'm telling you right now, if that match really does happen, and if they really are building to that, and it seems like they are, so I'm not just saying if because I'm skeptical. I'm saying if because I want to fucking hedge my bets. But assuming that that is the direction they're going, I genuinely think Javon's winning the title there. I really do, because I think Trick and Oba are both main roster motherfuckers.
I agree with you, man. They're
And at this
both they're
point,
both
the way
ready.
that they've
Yeah.
had Trick crashing out being an asshole to Javon, Javon should pin Trick. Protect Oba, Javon pins Trick, and both Oba and Trick get called up via the draft right then and there. Number one draft pick on both nights. Oba gets drafted number one overall on one night. Trick gets drafted number one overall on the other night.
Love it. Love it. I'm gonna say scouring NXT. There's really not much else I'd want to talk about from there, so I think I'm
There
gonna
is
close
one
that
other
tab.
thing I do want to talk about.
Oh, please go ahead. I'm just
My
still gonna
match
close
of the
tab
night
anyway.
was not a singles match. It was not one of Stephanie's defenses.
What was your match of the night on NXT?
Lash and Jakara versus Gigi and Tatum.
Nice, nice, nice. Yeah, I figured you've really talked positively about that match to me, so that's no surprise.
Tatum Paxley, and I told this to you behind closed doors, but I want to get it out there in the open. Tatum Paxley has surpassed Gigi Dolan in the ring.
Yes, yes, you did tell me
She's
that.
fucking awesome. I am becoming more and more of a Tatum Paxley fan every single time I watch that woman work, because she has gotten herself to be a really, really good wrestler in very little time. I think she's been doing this for less than 4 years now, I want to say. And she's got like Joshi level growth rate in terms of her in ring ability, because she went from zero to damn real quick.
Bro, you saying Joshi? I wish she would do like an excursion either in Monte Gold or even Stardom. And I know I've had my problems with Stardom lately, but I think Tatum in a Joshi promotion would be so much fun. She really is so good, dude, for sure.
Bro, your son showed up so early just to ask people to like the video, and he has not said a word since. But I mentioned Lash Legend, and he peeps up to say Lash Legend mentioned.
Yes, yes. And
That's
she's
so
great
funny.
too, by the way. I'm still
She
so
is.
excited about
She's a
Lash's future.
star.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Jakara's really fucking good too. I sleep on Jakara way too much, but she's really good too in her own right.
I've been said like I haven't said it lately, but I have said on this show that I feel like Jakara's gotten better because of this tag team. Like this
Yeah.
tag team has really helped her
Yep.
refine her in ring and everything. Yeah, Jakara's leveling up, dude, slowly. Um,
My
I'm
mom just told me one of these days she's gonna get that lollipop stuck in someone's hair.
oh god, your mom, she's just so her. It's perfect. Like I can't picture anybody else saying that but her, and I'm like, yeah, that tracks.
That just reminded me of a Scott Steiner promo for some reason. Like, one of these days, Scotty, I said Scotty, but I'm talking as Scott. One of these days, Petey, I'm gonna take this lollipop and I'm gonna get it stuck in someone's hair.
Yeah, Scotty.
Oh my god.
So yeah, those women are fucking great. But yeah, I closed out of the NXT tab. I scoured Raw. Really, not much to talk about beyond what we talked about. With the mid card, because we know Penta's probably going to be in the IC title picture. I will say, just to kind of circle back to Dragon Lee. God, I am enjoying El Grande Americano.
Yes, that
I
match
mean,
was
Chad Gable
awesome.
must be so proud of how he's inspired the next generation, because a lot of Chad Gable influence from El Grande Americano. It was
Oh, really?
great.
I didn't notice. You want to explain what?
I mean, yeah, the suplexes, bro. El Grande Americano finished with an ankle lock, and I'm like, man, Chad would be so proud. And
See,
unfortunately,
that's funny
Dragon,
because I pretty distinctly remember that ankle lock really only winning the match because of the fact that Dragon Lee was defenseless and maskless.
Yeah. Unfortunately, he suffered from unveiled face. And sucks to suck, I guess. And yeah, he just had to tap out. But what was impressive about what Dragon Lee did was he actually managed to keep the face veiled with the free hand and tap with the other hand. I great use of resources there. Way to be ambidangerous, or I guess just ambidextrous, because the only thing dangerous is that ankle lock happening to him. But yeah, El Grande Americano, I'm still really enjoying him. I wish the false accusations against Chad Gable would stop. I think that's very unfair to him. The man's trying to live his life.
Can
But
we agree to some kind of bargain about El Grande Americano's identity?
depends. I'm not gonna say yes until I know what the bargain is.
Just figure out maybe some kind of something that one of us would do if it turns out to be Chad Gable, and some kind of something for the other one to do if it isn't.
Bro, I don't need to figure out shit. I'll do what I've always done on this podcast. I'll admit that I was wrong, and that'll be the end of it. So,
I want it to be funnier than that.
do you now? I can't really think of how we could do that. So, if you have any ideas, I mean,
Well, I want to leave it to our
receptive.
chat. I want our chat to decide. Chat, if I'm wrong about El Grande Americano actually being Chad Gable, what should I do? And if John's wrong about it not being him, what should John do?
Yes, I will. I will bear my consequences.
No nudity, by the way.
Yes, I'm not opening up that OnlyFans. I'm waiting for Social Security to completely collapse before I do that, which, to be fair, won't take very long. But,
Anyway, Lyra successfully retained the IC title against Raquel, who gets
Yeah, I love Lyra to death, but I'm just waiting to see what her Mania plans are. That's why I didn't really pick that out
Yeah,
of the
no.
crowd.
I mean, Braun did have a good title defense against a Penta, but it did also get cut short by Dom.
Because we know the next Intercontinental Champion is the modern day Latino Heat, Dominic Mysterio. And so I'm just waiting for that to happen. Super Bowl is crashing out. Oh man.
Why do you say things like this, man?
I don't know. It's my face. Do something. Uh
I feel
I
like
really
Dom screws up literally everything. So in the process of trying to win the US title, he's going to cause Penta to win it.
I mean, I do think Dom would make a fantastic Intercontinental Champion, mainly so that Finn could have something to cry about. Because he has just been spiraling. Really, Damien and Rio were the glue that held the whole group together. Once they were out, and
I
Finn was like,
am so looking forward to the actual next step in the Judgment Day story, and I feel like that's got to be someone being added to the group or a new leader taking over the group. I just feel like they are dragging it out way too much, and that's classic Triple H at this point. I'm really sick of it.
yeah, either give me Aleister Black or shut the fuck up.
That's
I don't know what's
basically
better.
where I'm at right now, but also that might not be in the plans, and I wouldn't know why, but you never know.
All right.
I think
I
we're
really,
done with talking about the shows, aren't we? Oh
yeah, I
wait,
think we are because
wait. Was there anything else that I wanted to talk about from AEW this week?
I mean, by all means, man. But I think we're done with WWE stuff because canvassing the stuff. There's really not anything that I feel spirited to talk about, either for better or worse. So yeah.
Nope, that's it. We're good.
All right, cool. Let's move on to and no extracurriculars from you this week.
No, I mean, if you want to count AEW as an extracurricular or Evolve as an extracurricular, we both did. Whatever. We're good.
Yeah, I'm good as well. All right, so
Wahoo!
let's open the forum for questions then, guys. So any questions about this week in the world of wrestling?
Questiones. Oh wow.
Doesn't seem
Have you acknowledged your tribal chief today? Yeah, I
no.
have.
I have not. I'm putting my finger up in the air. I acknowledge you, Jacob Fatu, my tribal chief.
I just want to see what he says when we both go along with it, because like he's always going to do the wow thing when we go against it. I want to
You know
just
what? It still pops me, so
see.
I'm good
Yeah,
for right now.
there's the wow.
Um. Okay, so caster sales. Do you think Alistair will come back with a new theme? I hope
Yes.
not, because his old theme was iconic, but he probably will, being realistic.
We both said the same thing. You were just more poetic about it, romantic.
I appreciate it. Wasn't even trying to be. Super Blue, how do you feel about Steven being the Evolve GM? I really don't. I mean, it's Evolve, it's
Oh yeah, that
whatever.
was cool. I like that. I like Stevie. She's cool.
Stevie too. I just don't think it's that big of a deal. Like, I think it's going to be more of an invisible role
I
than
hope that it
anything.
leads to her wrestling. I hope that it's not an invincible role. I hope that she does something controversial that gets her in deep trouble that leads to her having to wrestle because she's a good wrestler too.
I hope she. God, no,
I
this
feel
is
like
just
you were
me.
about to
Hang
say
on, never
something
mind.
so unhinged there.
No, no, I'm repressing it. Fuck all of you. Let's move on.
Wow. Call me Abel because wow.
Yeah, I was gonna say it, but no, I'm gonna behave myself. No, you know what? Fuck it. I hope that there's like a tournament to crown the first ever Evolve Women's Champion, and she puts herself in the finals when the original person thought that she won the finals, maybe like Zara, and then she wins and she turns heel and she's GM and champion at the same time. Does that William Regal shit back
Regal,
in 2008?
yeah, that would be sick. Especially because she's
That's
already British and everyone knows villains are British.
yeah, there you go. Exactly. All right. Caster Sales. MJF accepted MVP's invitation, but Lashley said no. Any thoughts on this MJF Hurt Syndicate story? I don't even watch AEW, but I can tell you exactly how I feel about this story. It's meaningless because MJF has tried groups before and they never fucking work out. Why should I think that this is any different?
I think it's hilarious that Lashley said no because MVP invited MJF and then Lashley rejecting him is the funniest shit ever.
AEW, I am begging you to like I just wanted to get that all out on record because that's an appropriate response. I'm begging AEW to not have an in character now rich white guy break up a I won't even call them like radically black. This feels more like Black Wall Street vibes, Hurt Syndicate, but still like a pro black kind of faction, right? Like fuck white people. I'm just saying, like, keep doing your own thing. I'll say I think Lashley's the only one with any fucking sense. Like he knows MJF and he knows the fucking is no, we don't need him. Like fucking god damn. I just yeah, good on Lashley. Any other questions?
Going, whoa! There's one from Super Blue. How
How do
do
you
you
feel about
feel?
Jacob ruining the US title match and giving Solo and Tama ultimatum? First of all,
Wait, I
Jacob
missed
doesn't
this ultimatum. What was this ultimatum?
I think he said he was going to do it with or without them, like win gold, and that's what Super Blue is referring to.
How's
Like
that an
Jacob has to.
ultimatum?
I guess Super Blue is just feeling like Jacob is telling them like I'm willing to leave you guys behind if you don't shape up because I feel like he feels like Solo keeps dropping the ball. You
Oh,
know,
I do feel like Solo is going to be involved in the IC title match at Mania. I think it's going to be
you mean U.S.
those.
title?
Yeah, fuck me. I keep on getting those
You
mixed
keep
up.
getting them mixed up. Yeah, I just want to make sure that we're like
Yeah, I think the title match is going to be Braun, Penta, and then those. Or yeah, wait, am I? I
on
keep
Penta's
on.
the IC
Yeah,
title.
no, I'm again. I'm flipping shit everywhere. I think it's going to be L.A. Knight, Phoenix, and those two guys, Solo and Jacob,
I like that. I have no
as sort
qualms
of a
about that.
mirror to Raw, where it's going to be Braun, Penta, and then Dom and Balor, like two guys in the same faction. It's like the same sort of idea. It's like mirrors of each other for the mid card title on Raw and SmackDown. I think that's cool.
I agree with that. Hope Jacob wins. Hope LA Knight fails. I mean, I realized one reason I'm so visceral towards him. What was his old wrestling name? Eli Drake. So it all makes sense. I just yeah, I fucking hate you. Hope you fail. All right. Uh, let's see. Well, did you cry a river at the fact that Drew used real glass? Yes, this is in reference for those that don't know. Damian Priest and Drew had a spot. They did a brawl, and Priest chokeslammed Drew, I guess, through a windshield, and glass did genuinely get in Drew's eye. I have
According to Dave Meltzer, I don't buy it for shit.
Oh, it was Dave Meltzer? Yeah, fuck Dave Meltzer. Yeah, well, very, very tenuously put that story out there. Thank you for saying, like, who shared it, who circulated it.
Show me
No,
the
I didn't cry.
stitches, Drew. Show me the fucking stitches.
Exactly. I didn't cry a river because Drew is a man, and if he did cry about it, he has every right to, because we need to challenge the very toxic paradigms of masculinity in the first place. But also, I don't think anything bad happened. I think Drew's going to be okay, and I think he's going to beat fucking Bondage Undertaker Damian Priest at Mania and hopefully move on to the
Right.
world title so that we don't have to do Orton Cody and have it be a fucking glaze fest for 4 weeks. So, yeah.
Anyway, Super Blue had one of the most interesting typos I've seen in a while. He said, "Do you think the Hersevis could win the women's tag titles soon?"
Um, sure, sure. Let's get them all in there. Let's fucking do it. Let's fucking do it.
The Secret Hervis. Do you think the Secret Hervis could win the tag titles?
Yeah, because that's Piper Niven and Alba Fire. I could see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could absolutely see it for sure. Um, I mean, the women's tag division is kind of in a weird place anyway. And yes, Javaris, just to acknowledge you very quickly, you are right. That's what I'm rooting for, brother. That's what I'm rooting for. Believe me. Um, you can't blame me, Javaris, for having my doubts. You know pro wrestling has shattered our dreams many fucking times, dude. Caster Sales, do you think Orton was humiliated on SmackDown? He was humiliated the moment he betrayed Kevin Owens and chose Cody Rhodes. If you publicly choose Cody Rhodes over anything, you're pathetic. Okay? And
That is a fact right there. Literally isolate that voice clip, post it on every social media. If you choose Cody Rhodes over literally anything, you're humiliating yourself.
yeah. I mean, Orton, you're really old. You have a very
You're
weathered
like
face.
50, bro.
Yeah, like I don't know why I was oddly fixated on his face this Friday. It is weathered as fuck. My dude has been here since 2002,
This
and
dude's
he's very
face
tired.
looks like granite.
Yes. And like you're a father now and you mellowed out, and I guess I love that for you. I don't know, jury's still out. But like Cody fucking sucks, okay? Kevin Owens was the superior friend. You chose wrong. I hope you live with that regret for the rest of your life. So, yeah, I do think he was humiliated on SmackDown because Kevin Owens, the victim, cost Orton a match against Drew McIntyre. You lost to a guy that lost to Jimmy Uso. Reassess
Oh!
your fucking life.
Oh!
And then you still haven't punted Kevin Owens because you're not going to, because I don't know. It's just not going to happen for you. You'll fail because KO Mania, Kevin Owens is clearly going to beat your ass.
Sound reasoning.
Exactly. Thank you. And yeah, just go fuck yourself is I think what my voices in my head are telling me right now.
Very sound argument. You won this.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought so. I'm doubling down. I'm very confident in it. Super Blue, do you have a problem with the Gulf of America being used in WWE, or is it being used right with Americano? I don't like how far right everything's going, Super Blue, so I'm kind of half and half. On one hand, like, yeah, it's gross because you're acknowledging the outside world, but at the same time, like, you're using it with a ludicrous gimmick. And this is me being serious now. We have our fun, but I do treat this question a bit more seriously. You are using it in the manner of parody and satire, and it's ridiculous. And so maybe it kind of works, but I don't really think it works in any kind of meaningful way. So I think even ultimately I come down on I don't like that they're doing that. Because
I tell you what,
it's
if
like,
it was literally 3 months ago, before Donald Trump and this administration started trying to make it a thing, it would have been brilliant.
yeah,
But
yeah,
now it's just kowtowing to fascism.
exactly. Exactly. And that's exactly my problem with it too. Yeah. Because even if you're using it like in a satirical way with an obviously ludicrous gimmick, like it's still trafficking in fascist talking points and not in a way that fundamentally challenges said talking points.
Yeah.
So yeah. Yeah,
Like
I think I come down on it.
you could have found a way to work around it and still have it be funny. Like you could have like found a small town in the state New Mexico so that he could have been from a place with Mexico in the name that's still in the US. That would have been funny. And it wouldn't have been kowtowing to the fucking fascists.
Exactly. Caster Sales, do you think that Jimmy Uso's slap was good? No, because I refuse to give
What?
Jimmy Uso credit for anything.
Dude, come on. It was legendary.
I wish Gunther would have beat the shit out of him, honestly. I
I
hate that
do
Gunther let him get
too,
away.
because it would have been worth it, because that slap was amazing.
Okay, it was a hard slap and it was pretty quality, but I really, really hope Gunther tags Jimmy Uso back because Jimmy Uso is a
Bro.
loser and fuck Jimmy Uso again because I hate speaking in tautologies.
I hope that
So,
I hope that Gunther beats him in like a squash match, like under 2 minutes. That would be legendary.
yeah.
But like that slap though, that was amazing.
Abel, is Big Jim him? No. No, moving on.
Oh god, oh god, you're gonna turn our Abel into Owen Wilson.
No, he sucks, and he'll fail at everything he does. And again, I don't like speaking in tautologies. When you say suck, lose, or whatever, and Jimmy Uso, you're practically repeating yourself. It's fucking synonymous. And there it is. There it is.
God damn
Um, Super Blue. See, Super Blue, this is how you ask a proper question. Let's break it down. After Jimmy gets choked out on Monday, beginning with an immediate fact, very nice, very sexy. Do you think he would turn on Jay if he wins the title? Basically, drafted on the same show. Well, actually, Super Blue, I laugh because we know Jimmy Uso has no loyalty. We know he's a turncoat. Hey, he's already turned on Jay once. Why not turn on him again? So I'm gonna ultimately say no, but I mean the idea that the possibility even exists. How shit are you, Jimmy? God. Um yeah, Javaris. Javaris might have commented on the stream as far as this discourse is concerned. Jimmy may suck, but he goes home to Naomi. So Jimmy low-key is him a little. You know what, Javaris? I'm going to do something I never thought I would do in any part of Jimmy Uso discourse. I will concede that little bit. I will concede that little bit to you because Naomi, God, she is goals for any man that aspires to have a beautiful, loving relationship with a woman. And none of that toxic shit that a lot of men think is okay. Oh, apparently, speaking of, Andrew Tate apparently got charged for like assault charges. So I hope
Good.
they fucking stick.
So
Piece of
you're
shit.
telling me Big Jim is a Himmel?
You know what? I want to be unhinged on you so bad right now. Like you have no idea, like just how fucking I'll say straight up abusive that I want to be right now verbally.
Holy shit!
But because I'm not even gonna try and mask it or anything else. No, this is the urge inside of me right now. My brain is screaming at me, put him down. Don't let him get away with this. But I'm gonna let you get away with it. So minute pop. All right. Wow, Abel. See, now it's my turn to do it. Wow. He said proceed with caution when talking badly about Big Jim. Oh, God. Fuck. Okay. Any other questions?
Going once.
Going twice.
Going. Yep. You got it. I'm not going to continue.
I think we're ready to go home. I really enjoyed this. I know we got one more segment, but this I feel like should be the
Oh.
template for weekend review. These
Will the
conversations
Cena
were
and
fire.
Cody promos get better once they return to the U.S.? No, they won't.
Well, it's not about geography. It's about talent, and Cody Rhodes
No,
fundamentally lacks it.
that's true, but I'm also gonna just on the other side of the coin, Cena's promos won't get better because he's not allowed to outshine Cody because that's literally they're protecting Cody.
Bro, he could bury him so easily too. Like here's the thing. I didn't want to talk about this, right? I deliberately skipped this. And as I don't even know if anybody noticed, but I really didn't want to talk about Cena. But just very quickly, it's amazing that your whole goal is like, I'm gonna ruin professional wrestling. Well, then ruin the top guy. Like just fucking drop that atom bomb. But of course,
See, but he has
he
to
can't.
say that he wants to ruin professional wrestling without actually ruining professional wrestling. That's the thing.
Exactly. So I think we'll just leave it there because that's really as straightforward a discussion as you're going to get. I was already closing the game when Super Bowl asked that question, so let's just move on to our next segment: high
Yes.
spots and low shots.
Yes.
My low shot is Randy Orton. You're a horrible friend. You're a horrible person. You lost to Drew McIntyre, and yeah, I hope you get pile drived on your neck again. And
Would it be pile
yeah,
driven?
sure, whatever. Words won't matter to him when he's staring up at the lights anyway. So sure, we can do that. Yeah, Randy Orton's my low shot.
Nice. My low shot is Penta because he actually had his shot at the U.S. title. I got it right this time, right?
For you.
Did I get it right this time for sure? No, I
You
didn't.
did.
I fucked it up. Penta had his shot at the IC title. That's what Braun has, right?
Yes.
So yeah, I fucked it up. Penta
Oh,
had
damn.
his shot at the IC title, and completely out of his control. C. Javar has corrected me in chat. Completely out of his control, got screwed out of it by the Judgment Day fucking around. I hope that they find out. And Penta got a small measure of revenge that night, but he still lost his opportunity.
Damn it, that popped me too. We have to keep it together. We have to keep it together. Um, uh, so I guess my high spot. See, it was a weird week because I am like caught up on everything. I was able to talk about everything with you, but it's just like I wasn't like really like gripped this week. I guess technically, even though I hate to do it, no, I shouldn't give a high spot to somebody I
You
hate
want
to
me to
give it
go
to. Fuck.
first?
Beg pardon?
You want me to go first to give you more time?
Sure, that's fine.
My high spot is Stephanie Vaquer for being the first person in WWE history to retain two different championships in the same night.
All right, my high spot. Oh boy. Um, fuck. You know what? My high spot's gonna be Rhea Ripley.
Nice.
She's caused a ruckus. She's caused mayhem,
Wow.
and she's been able to get her rematch for this Monday.
Yeah.
And we'll have to see how that goes. So, like
She
going just
threw a
week to
hissy
week.
fit and she got her way.
Yeah, we like to
Great
keep high.
lesson, Pierce.
Yeah, we like to keep high spots and low shots to this week. Well, in the confines of this week, she got what she wanted. So, like, yeah, I got a rewarder for that. High spots, Rhea Ripley. You already gave your high spots, Stephanie Vaquer. So, women rule the world, baby. And that's Week in Review. So, thank you guys for joining us. This has been the Week in Review. This has been TWitWoW, the best wrestling podcast
I
made
should
for
give a
wrestling
fucking
fans.
honorable low shot to my brain for not being able to figure out which fucking title is the mid card title in each show.
You listen to me right now. I was there for the time when you didn't know the difference between a Mahistral Cradle and Oklahoma Roll. You bested that. You're going to best this. I believe in you. Your brain is beautiful, and you apologize for nothing.
Yay! Thank you.
So, yes, be sure to like the video, file out, subscribe to the bell icon for notifications so you miss any of that. Oh, goodness. Check out everything we're involved in the description box. Follow us on Blue Sky and Twitch. Hey, remember when I still used to call it Twitter? It took me forever to know that we're on Blue Sky. So, all brains do it, brother.
Hooray!
But yeah, because we are the best wrestling podcast in all the NWC. Now, partner, we know that I think a Monday Gold show is actually happening. It either happened today because I feel like the next one was the 30th for Utami Bozilla. So I don't
Oh,
know. Are we thinking like Tuesday
3:30.
maybe?
3:30. Is it happening right the fuck now? Right now,
It,
like
it,
actively?
it might be happening right the fuck now.
It
I
is
don't know.
happening right the fuck now. Holy shit.
That is crazy. So are we thinking just Tuesday maybe if they have it up?
Yes.
Should we say
And we
5?
know it'll be up because it's live on Wrestle Universe. So we know it'll be up. Like literally, it's happening, and as soon as the show's over, we'll be able to watch it on demand.
Okay, so do we even want to try it? No. I know you like to keep your Mondays free anyway. So
It's
would Tuesdays
true.
be better? Tuesday 5 or 6? You think? Can we
Why
even
don't I?
preview a card on this if it's
Yeah,
live right now?
yeah. Hummingbird and Riara versus Ryoko and Nagisa. That's a skip.
Yeah.
Victoria Yuzuki and Kizuna Tanaka versus Ryaseto and Minami Yuki. That's a watch.
Oh fuck yeah, that is.
Shozuki and Chikagoto versus Chiaki and Misa. I'm 50-50 on that. How do you feel?
Say the teams again. I'm sorry.
Natsumi Shozuki and Chikagoto. Chikagoto as in the tall lady who does the
Yeah, yeah,
swings.
yeah, yeah.
Versus Chiaki and Misa Matsui.
Dude, I'm honestly feeling skip that honestly.
That's fair. Fourth match, Mirai, Miku, and Chanyoda versus Nagisa, Megaton, and Gigaton.
Megaton and Gigaton kind of ruin it for me to be honest.
Yeah. Uh, fifth match is Mai Sakurai defending the United National title against Erina Yamanaka, who's the new woman that they just brought in.
We want to watch it just to see her, or do we want to wait for Yamanaka to be in another matchup? Because I
We're gonna
know
wait for Yamanaka to be in something
I
else.
figured, yeah.
There's no way they're gonna put the United National title on her in this match this early.
Yeah.
Nanae and Seri are defending the Twin Star titles against a marvelous team, Takumi Iroha and Senka Akatsuki.
What do we want to do about that? Because it is non-A.
Fuck Nanae.
Fair enough.
Main event is Utami Bozilla.
Which we will watch. So that's only 2 matches. Do you want to just do it to get it out of the way at 6, or like do you want to wait for more stuff so that we can have a minimum of 3 or 4? What do you want to do?
You know what? Because the one match that we're gonna be doing is the main event, I kind of want to just knock it out.
Okay, but we could definitely get away with 6.
Dude, we can get away with 7 if you want.
Hey,
If you would rather do 6, I don't want you to
I
think that
would
I'm trying
rather
to
do
pressure
6 if
you.
that's okay with
Yeah,
you.
that's cool.
Yeah, we'll do 6 only because I do like the time between like any recording and like a show that we all hopefully watch together. And I do hope I am more present in Discord. No promises because I know what my life is, but yeah, we'll see. But yeah, Tuesday at 6, we're gonna be doing 2, count them 2, fucking Money Gold matches. And the
I
reason we're
can't
not doing it
believe
now,
Nanae is so fucking prevalent that she's ruining a Takumi Iroha appearance in Marigold for us. Hate
I
her.
mean, I don't know. I know I'm unhinged, but that feels pretty unforgivable to me.
She's the
And so
worst.
yeah, and also, Javoris, just to answer you very quickly, it's because like I'm not in my like room right now. I've been in here for like what feels like 2 years at this point, and I think my family might be sleeping. And I know, like, I like to be a bit more excitable when we live react. By all accounts, I guess we could do it, but also I'm kind of just in a cozy
Well,
groove, to be
and
honest.
literally,
Yeah.
we would have missed the first of the 2 matches that we want to react to anyway.
Yeah, a lot of it would have just been dead air anyway, Doris. When the card's that low, like it's just better to have it go live and have that control anyway. So we'll see you guys Tuesday at 6 for it. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, everybody. Be good to yourselves and each other. And I really can't stress that more than ever with the times we live in right now. So just hold that close and tune in. Peace out.